I have decided that this is my favorite red wine on the ship to date. It is the Dry Creek Valley Zinfandel from Sonoma County, 2016, and it is made by Rancho Zabaco. I looked this up on Vivino. If you guys have not downloaded the Vivino app at this point, I don't know what to tell you. You need to look at your life and look at your choices. You take a picture of the wine bottle that you want to learn more about. It gives you a great description of the wine as well as how the wine ranks with other wines in the world. According to Vivino, this is right up there with some of the best wines you can purchase. It's a full-bodied wine with hints of cherry and blackberry. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm an expert because, like I said, we can only get basically the same 6 wines from the Crew Bar, so I really know what I'm talking about here, folks. Today, I'm going to be doing a get ready with me that is inspired by one of my favorite makeup artists. She's actually someone that I've mentioned in other videos. Her name is Cate Hughes, and she just does the most creative yet simple makeup looks I've ever seen. I also love her because so much of her makeup is based around skincare. She's all about your skin looking like your skin. And if you don't follow her on Instagram, you should definitely check her out because that's basically where I found so many makeup looks that I love. This makeup look is going to be a soft blur makeup look. It's going to be a blurred soft cat eye and a blurred matte lip. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I feel like it's so flattering, so sexy. It also makes a cat eye really approachable. It's really hard to mess this up, guys, so I'm really excited to show you this look. So my face is zero makeup, just moisturizer as my primer, and I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Glow Pro foundation. This is a great drugstore radiant foundation, and my shade is Creamy Natural. So in one of my last videos, I told you guys that my mom was visiting me on the ship, and she did. She was here last week, and it was so fun. We had the chillest time. We just napped and had great dinners and caught up and had drinks, and it was just everything I wanted. Did we see a lot of Alaska? Nope, sure didn't. Am I okay with it? Yep, sure am. I know that sounds a little blasphemous to some people that we didn't get off in ports, but here's the deal. I've been really fortunate in my life, and my family and I have always traveled ever since I was a little girl. We've lived in a lot of different states, and I've also done now 5 cruise contracts, and every single one of those contracts my parents came and visited as well. There was something really freeing about just not worrying about rushing off into port and feeling like we had to go see things. We just stayed on the ship and did whatever the hell we wanted, and it was so refreshing. I know that I had said I was maybe going to do a makeup video with her, and we actually had every intention of doing that, and then I don't know, we're too busy catching up and relaxing and we didn't do it. I will say though that we are definitely planning on doing a video when I visit my parents in Las Vegas, which I do quite often. It's coming, you're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. I'm sure you've also noticed that I have different hair. As I said, my mom used to be a hairstylist, so she's always done my hair. I didn't even really have any intention of doing something that different, and then I saw some Instagram photos of some pixies with baby bangs, and I was like, you know what, that's what I want to do, let's do that. So we just pulled up a chair and she chopped my hair off. I used to have this huge ringlet curly blonde hair when I was a teenager. It sort of felt like part of my identity. One day when I was 17, my mom was just like, maybe we should cut your hair short. And I was like, okay. And we literally just pulled up a folding chair and she cut my hair off. And I've never had long hair since. I'm using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer right now. Side note, I did not color my hair. This is actually my natural hair color. I usually highlight my hair blonde or whatever, but when my mom cut my hair this time, basically all of the blonde got cut off. So you are seeing me au natural. Now I'm going to use my e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder. And today's look is actually going to be a no eyeshadow look. So I'm going to go back in with that No Filter concealer, and I'm just going to pat that into my lids. Then I'm just going to go in with a finishing powder. That's pretty much going to be our eyeshadow. I'm going to use a finishing powder from my Cover FX Perfector Face Palette. This is a finishing powder in the shade Stellar. And that's just basically setting the concealer so that it doesn't crease and just evening everything out. You could do an eyeshadow with this as well. That's totally fine. I just like a really clean eye to set off that cat eye. Now I'm going to go in with my Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. This is in shade number 3. If you guys watch my my last video, you know it was an unpopular opinions video with my friend Emily. So silly and so fun. I also love how so many of you guys chimed in the comments section with your own unpopular opinions. You guys wanted to let me know all about those men that you thought were hot that other people did not. Now, I just have to say, I love you guys, but Elvis, Harrison Ford, Robert Downey Jr., Robert Redford, ladies, I want to know the last time any of those men were unpopular opinions in terms of their attractiveness. Am I wrong here? I think Robert Redford was named like sexiest man alive at least once by People magazine. Elvis is like one of the most legendary sex symbols that ever existed. My grandma's obsessed with Elvis and she's 95. Guys, you gotta do better. You gotta dig down and find some weird ass dudes that you're into, okay? Do not be coming at me with Robert Downey Jr. Everybody loves Robert Downey Jr. All I'm saying is I need some of you to get like a little bit weirder. I know this is like super weird, but like I've always had a thing for Paul Rudd. Get weirder. Michael Shannon, Crispin Glover, Jack Black, Conan O'Brien. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Now I'm gonna use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Gel in dark brown. I really do love this product, but you have to go in light with it or else you are going to be giving people a whole Burt Groucho Marx situation. Today I'm using my Stila in the color Gerbera. Guys, if I mispronounced it, I'm sorry. I do like this Stila cream blush. It's a little bit tackier and stickier than the Cloud Paint. Cloud Paint dries in a really nice matte way that I thoroughly enjoy, but I don't mind this either. It's just a different consistency. Now we're getting to the fun part. We're doing the cat eye. First, we're gonna go in with a liquid pen eyeliner. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. I know that in another video I had mentioned that I'm kind of waiting for this to run out so I can purchase a different brand, but you know what? This is what I got, so we're using it. So for me, the easiest thing to do is the wing first. I always use the end of my brow as an indicator to where my wing should be directed toward. I always make the line as small as I can because the minute you make it any longer, you turn out looking like Amy Winehouse. It's a snowball situation. You can't stop it. So let's just keep our lines really small and subtle. You can always add more if you need to. It's really hard to take away. So now I'm going to go a little bit further than the middle of my lid. And I make that line, you can see it's a really small line that we're gonna fill in. And then I do the little triangle wing. Do it very slowly. And I meet that point at the end. So you can see it's two different shapes. It's the sliver right along the lid and then the little triangle at the end. If you think of it as two simple shapes like that, it's a lot easier to get the hang of. And then you just fill in the shapes. Don't panic if you didn't get it perfect because the next step I'm going to show you is going to diffuse those hard lines. And if you made any sort of mistake, it might take care of it like that. Okay, so I am going to take a flat tipped brush. This particular brush I'm using is the Luxie 245. It's the small shader brush, and you just need a black eyeshadow. Any black eyeshadow will do. I'm going to be using a black eyeshadow from my ColourPop Kathleen Lights Zodiac palette, and this particular shade is called the Capricorn. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's really not that noticeable once you put it over the liner. First, you are going to dampen your brush. I am going to use a little bit of my Mario Badescu facial mist, but you can also just use water. And then just very lightly tap into the shadow. Sometimes even like to brush a little bit of the pigment off on my hand just to make sure there's not too much. And you're just gonna go along that liquid liner and just very lightly pull it up. It's really subtle, it's not anything huge. That's why you want your brush to be damp and not super wet with a lot of pigment. This is going to give a really nice softness and sexiness to the eyeliner. I really do love a cat eye, but I oftentimes find that it just looks really harsh, right? And that's cool if that's the look you're going for. But I just think, unless you are just a super de-duper pro at doing liquid liner, this is such a great technique. This is a way to also make the line a little bit thicker without, again, going that Amy Winehouse route, right? And the brush is pretty dry at this point, but there's just a little tiny bit of dampness, which is perfect. That's the way you want it to do the wing. Okay, so I'm gonna finish off the other eye and I'll be right back. So that is the soft blurred cat eye. While I do think it's an easier approach to a cat eye, it still does take some time. So this isn't something that you're gonna like throw in your face and whip out the door in 5 minutes. So I have to tell you guys about 2 series that I have been obsessed with and I'm blowing through them. And both of them are such great storylines for women. I'm so refreshed that we are finally giving women the complex, interesting storylines that they deserve. Have you guys seen Good Girls yet? Mae Whitman, Christina Hendricks, Retta. It's honestly the kind of show that I didn't really think I would get into because I don't know, it feels a little bit like far-fetched. It's not a sitcom, but it's comedic. I don't know, I was just a little skeptical, but honestly, they are really straddling the line between comedy and drama so well. I don't know how they're doing it. I have loved Mae Whitman ever since Parenthood. I just think she is such a little genius. I know we all love Christina Hendricks from Mad Men. She's this housewife, but she also turns into this boss bitch. It's so good. You guys have to watch it. And what I'm watching at this very moment is Dead to Me. Oh my god, it's so good. You know, I've always liked Christina Applegate, but I have to say I am like a die-hard fan after watching this series. I think she is so brilliant. She is like the spirit animal I never knew I had. I think she's pretty much like what I would be and a lot of my friends would be if we just had no filter. She's unlikable and likable at the same time. She has this really hard edge, but she's so human and so complex. I just think it is such an incredible acting job. It's funny, it's devastating, and just when you think it's devastating, you're laughing again because she does something to totally diffuse the moment. After you watch this video, you need to flip it on because it's so good. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm using my Lancome Monsieur Big Mascara. This is my go-to when I want just really dramatic, luscious, fat lashes. I've also had a lot of you guys asking me what lash serum I use. I love New Lash. I use it every single night. It keeps my lashes nice and long. Actually, if you guys are interested in trying New Lash, I do have a code down below that you can click on. Now we're moving on to lips, and I am using one of my favorites. This is the ColourPop Luxe lipstick, and this particular shade is called Afterglow. It's a really beautiful, cool tone pink, and I think it complements this whole kind of 60s cat eye thing we have going on. We're doing a soft blur lip as well, so I'm going to apply this and then I'm going to diffuse it with my finger. You're just gently rubbing it into your lip with your finger. It's going to create a really soft, blurred line, so there are no hard edges. You're really creating that illusion of a bigger lip. ColourPop Luxe lipstick in Afterglow, good job! We of course are going to add just a little bit more blush because we know that blush gonna fade. This is my Laura Geller Baked Blush in Brighten in Tropic Hughes, one of my faves. And because this has such a nice glow to it, we are not even going to use a highlighter today. Take that up into the temple just ever so slightly, a little bit on the chin because that's pretty. Okay guys, so this is the finished soft blur look. It's simplistic while being glamorous at the same time. Perfect for a date night, but also not so extra that you couldn't wear this in the daytime as well. I hope I did Katie Jane Hughes justice. As always, I will list and link everything I mentioned and used in the video down below in the description box. If you guys are enjoying my videos, please do subscribe, share, and like, and click that little bell right beneath the video with the little parentheses around it. That is going to alert you anytime I drop a new video. Okay, bye!